So, you know how they say we're always an example. We're always either a good example or a bad example, but we're always an example. So, we have some of these great stories where we tell of how when we did it right and God did something amazing. Well, here's a story of how we messed it up and God still did something amazing. It was early on in our marriage, and we were needing to go to a 50th wedding anniversary. It was Bill's parents. You don't not go to a 50th wedding anniversary. Everybody goes, the children, their spouses, and all the kids. So me and Bill were the missionaries, and so we're always talking about living by faith, and here we are, we didn't have the money to go to the 50th wedding anniversary, so we're like, gee, this will look really bad for God if he doesn't provide for this, because we won't show up, and that would be really anathema, right? So we're praying like crazy that God's going to provide for us to go to this event. So one of Bill's brothers, a pilot, got us those buddy pass type tickets where it's a lot cheaper. He may have even given us the tickets. I think he may have even given us the tickets. So we had tickets to go. And then we thought, okay, well, we've got probably enough for dinner if we order the cheapest thing on the menu. And then we didn't have anything else in the bank account. It was just enough to keep the bank account open, that kind of a deal. And we had no savings in the world, no property, nothing. We had paid off all of our debts, but we didn't have anything as far as a cushion to live on. So we get to the airport, and we have to park the car, and we see this big sign with the rates on it. And we're like, oh my gosh, when we come out of the airport, we're going to have to pay all this money just to get out of the airport with our car. We better put this money aside, because Bill and I, we could not see any way that God would provide money in the parking lot to get us out of that airport. We couldn't see how God would provide in that circumstance. So we decided to provide for ourselves. We came up with a clever plan. We took the money that we had been planning to spend on the dinner, and we tucked it in an envelope and put it in the glove box so that it would be there when we came back, so that we could pay and get out of parking and not get a fine. Okay, so we thought, yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll pay by check. Restaurants don't accept checks, but we'll post-date a check and write it to one of our relatives. Whoever's paying for the meal, we'll give him the check, and he just asked him to cash it in a couple of weeks after we receive our salary. So we get to the restaurant, and as we're ordering, our brother-in-law, who was leading the thing, said, all right, attention everybody, we're going to have separate checks. So just order whatever you want on your own bills, and we'll all take care of ourselves. And Bill and I were like, oh, now what? Because we can't write a check to the restaurant. So we're praying together, our heads are bowed. We ordered the cheapest thing on the menu, and we got water to drink, no dessert for us, thanks, kind of a thing. And still, we didn't even have money for that. We had left it in the car because we didn't believe God could provide for us in the getting out of the parking lot. So now we're like, oh, what do we do now? See, God put us in a position where we were going to have to do something by faith. So as we're praying, Bill's sister, he has a couple of sisters, one came over to us and said, actually, I've been meaning to do this. And now's as good a time as any. I wanted to give these $40 to Carol to get curtains for your house. And Bill and I were like, wow, for someone to walk up to you in the restaurant, from whence cometh my help. God sent her at that exact moment. It's so precise. It was just so beautifully of him to show us, see, even in the restaurant, when there's no visible means of support, I've got you covered. So we thanked her profusely, of course, and then we paid for the meal with that money, making sure that when we did get paid, we would immediately first take out $40 and use it for curtains to honor his sister's intent. So everything was great, and we got back on the airplane. We land at the airport, and we're waiting for our bag. And our bag isn't coming, it's not coming, and we're wondering what's going on. Everybody else has already left, time is passing, where's our bag? So we go to one of the offices, and they say, oh, I'll take you to where you need to go. They led us to this place, and we saw this bag sitting on a desk. And we thought, boy, who would have a bag like that? And then we realized, oh, it's our bag. It had tire track marks over it, it was bent in half. Apparently, what they said was that one of the baggage trains had run over our bag. And to make it up to us, the airline was giving us $50 cash to get a new bag. Now we had other bags at home that, so that wasn't an issue for us. But what was an issue for us was that God was teaching us, look, if you hadn't hid that money in the glove box, I still would have taken care of you. Look, I provided for you at the airport. There's $50 in your hand. So it showed us how we really thought we were living by faith, but we really weren't. He showed us how much we didn't trust him in some. We could trust him in some circumstances, but not in others. So that was a real lesson for us, and it makes a great story.